No June swoon, not on this channel. Welcome to June 3rd, Monday. It is good to have you here. Back on the Damon Bruce Show, brought to you by Ike Sandwiches. Thank you so much for returning. It's great to see you again. Hopefully you had a really good weekend. Let's just hop right into an earth-shattering NFL contract, a market-redefining NFL contract. So Justin Jefferson has averaged 98.3 receiving yards per game. That is the most in NFL history over any career span. He's averaging 6.5 catches per game. That's the second highest of any receiver in his first 4 seasons. These are nothing short of historic numbers that he has put up very early on in his career, and because of that, Vikings wide receiver Justin Jefferson has just signed the biggest non-quarterback contract in football history. It is a monster, a 4-year, $140 million contract extension that includes $110 million guaranteed. Mama raised those babies to be wide receivers, apparently. My goodness. That is an awful lot of money, and it is just a huge shot across the bow of any team who might be, renegotiating an extension with their wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk probably has already heard of this, probably has already called his agent and said, okay, so the neighborhood we're living in is a $30 million neighborhood now. Will that be a neighborhood that the 49ers allow him to live in? Is he even worth that? We'll get into all that in just a second. But again, Jefferson, he's got $700,000 more than Nick Bosa's guaranteed money. His extension gives him a $35 million a year average. That is $1 million more than Bosa's guaranteed money. And as our friend Dave Lombardi has pointed out, Justin Jefferson didn't try to chase Tyreek Hill dollar bills. He went and chased down Nick Bosa dollar bills. And Nick Bosa, when he signed his extension, was the highest paid non-quarterback in football history. And now that's Justin Jefferson. Look, Sam Darnold, J.J. McCarthy, you got yourself some serious targets to play with in Minnesota. There's no doubt. You got Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and TJ Hawkinson. I get my Hawkinson, Addison a little mixed up there. But either way, that's a really good 3-target outfit that any quarterback could be looking at. And look, the world is changing. Field Yates pointed out that now 5 of the 8th highest paid non-quarterbacks are wide receivers. It is not that edge rusher, and probably it's not that edge rusher because the actual amount of production that you can get out of even a great edge rusher defensive end has been minimized by just strategy. Ball is out in under 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds. By the time you hit that third drop, the third step on that drop ball, gone. I mean, everybody's playing that way, and that basically takes the very best defensive lines in football and mutes them a little right there. So you are going to see the cost of wide receivers going up, and I wouldn't be surprised if the next extreme jump in terms of annual average value isn't corners. Corners already get paid handsomely, but I think that with wide receivers getting paid with what they're getting paid, corners, the guys who defend that position, mirror that position, they're about to be in some rich country too. 5 of the 8th highest paid non-quarterbacks now wide receivers. CeeDee Lamb and Jamar Chase could soon jump into that top 5 as well. Probably not Brandon Ayuk. So is he going to be happy coming back to the 49ers for $28-29 million now? Probably not. Like, if he was holding out for 30 before this deal, he's definitely holding out for 30 now. And if the 49ers actually turn around and flip him for draft picks at this point in time in this draft, they will have played the wrong game of chicken. They will have played the wrong game of chicken with someone whose deal should have been done now and put to bed before this completely market readjusting contract extension for Justin Jefferson. The wide receiver market is exploding And this is a year where we had a historic draft class. What we had, the 16 wide receivers go in the top 100 picks, I believe. There's a strong case, says Field Yates, that wide receiver is now viewed by the league as the second most valuable position in the NFL right now. So, bad time to be doing business with Brandon Ayuk, but it's the time that, the 49ers painted themselves into this corner. They did. So now they better get out of it with their most important wide receiver still on the roster, happy as a clam in a season where you're trying to win the Super Bowl, and that's it. That's the only goal. Win the Super Bowl. That's all the 49ers are playing for. By the way, welcome, like, and subscribe, my good friends. It's the single best way to support the channel by liking what you're watching right now, by subscribing to the channel. That would be fantastic. Memberships indeed are available. Super chats are always incredibly welcome, but just liking and subscribing and, of course, supporting our sponsors. I hope you used our last promo code that we had for Ikes. It is over now. I'm not even going to bring it up. I won't even say the words because we will have a new promo code for you by the end of this week to get you through this month as well. But thanks as always to Ike, who came on out, supported the Guardsman last week at the sports auction, has done an incredible job supporting this channel's growth, and is doing an incredible job feeding you good people of the world. Get yourself to Ike's. Order a Damon Bruce. You're going to be happy that you did. By the way, speaking of being happy that you did that, next time you're up for a pint, go get it at the Dubliner in West Portal. Kenny is a great guy, one of the bartenders there. Kenny and I are going to be working on a couple Damon Bruce Plus shot specials coming up soon, some drink specials. So we got that coming up in the very near future. But in the meantime, go on into the Dubliner in West Portal and tell them that Damon sent you. Kenny says he's heard that several times from several customers who have walked in there, and it always makes him feel really, really good. And thank you oh so much for supporting the channel. Again, the Dubliner, Ikes, likes, subscribes. That's all we're asking for, my friends. And cheers to you. Sip of the day right there. I mean, that was perfect. I timed that. I knew about 7 minutes into the show, I knew it was going to be perfect. It's been a very nice, smooth morning in the Bruce household. Didn't have screaming idiots on the way to preschool today. That's really nice. It's always fun to begin your day with screeching 4-year-olds and 2-year-olds before you even reach 8 a.m. Ugh. Again, parenthood's great, but it should come with earplugs. Back to why we are all here. We're talking sports, and the highest paid wide receivers per annual average value are now Justin Jefferson, making $35 million a year. I mean, that's unbelievable. A guy who is basically completely dependent on somebody else getting him the ball is now making $35 million a year. Wow. I mean, what do you think Jerry Rice would be worth in this league right now, right? I mean, is Jerry Rice the first $50 million a year wide receiver if he's playing football? Anyways, Justin Jefferson, 35. A.J. Brown, 32. Amon-Ra St. Brown is at 30. Tyreek Hill's at 30. Jalen Waddle at $28.25 million. And again, Jamar Chase is probably going to find himself somewhere in there quickly. Bill Barnwell on this deal for Justin Jefferson writes that he's going to average $35 million per year on the new deal. Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to make a combined $35.3 million across the first 4 years of his new deal. And this is why finding that next rookie wide receiver is going to become more important for all cap-savvy NFL teams than ever before, with the price of business going up. Again, no one should have any issue with paying great players, but there's a reason why. A reason why teams are going to be walking away from the ultra high-priced wide receivers, and that's, a 16 wide receiver rookie class drafted in the top 100 draft picks this year alone is basically the NFL telling on itself. The NFL knows that the price of business with wide receivers is about to explode, so get them cheap, get them young, and get them while you can. Having said all of that, there really aren't going to be a lot of guys who are qualifying quickly for this $30 million price tag. Justin Jefferson is a really special and unique cat. There is no doubt about it. He's played 3 seasons. He's had 392 catches for over 5,700 yards with 30 touchdowns. He had only 10 games before he was hurt last year, still had 68 catches, and is the first NFL wide receiver to ever go over 1,000 yards in only 10 games. He had 5 touchdowns. But this is a guy whose resume is already, very deep. He's got an Offensive Player of the Year. He's got a Rookie of the Year, 3 Pro Bowls, 1 All-Pro already for Justin Jefferson. He's got historic production in his first 60 career games. Adam Schefter went on to follow that up, saying that Jefferson set an NFL record for the most receiving yards in the first 3 seasons of a career, then eclipsed 1,000 receiving yards despite missing 7 games just last season and parts of 2 other games. His 1,074 yards in 2023 were the most ever by an NFL player who had 10 or fewer games in a season. In other words, this guy can boogie. I mean, he is really good. He is historically good. Brandon Ayuk. Brandon Ayuk has been fantastic. But compared to Justin Jefferson, Brandon Ayuk is not, in the same conversation. They both played 3 seasons. And Brandon Ayuk in his 3 seasons, 269 catches, around 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, which is more than I actually thought he would have. Because I know it's something that Kruger has complained about in the past, not enough touchdowns out of Ayuk, and I would agree. I really would. But the fact that he only has 5 fewer than Justin Jefferson is certainly a talking point that his agents are going to be leaning on with the 49ers as they try to negotiate the next deal. He's coming off a 75-catch, 1,300-yard season with 7 touchdowns. No accolades on his resume, no Pro Bowls, no first or second team All-Pros or anything like that for Brandon Ayuk. He has been in the realm of very, very good, though. In his 62 career games played over the course of his first 3 seasons. And look, you could almost make the joke that no one's doing a better job shutting down Brandon Ayuk than Kyle Shanahan. Just the way Kyle Shanahan goes about his offense, spreading the ball around, always, he's not feeding any one guy. He's looking for the open matchup, and everybody is supposed to be kumbaya with that. And Brandon Ayuk has been. The guy has been such a great soldier for the 49ers. He has got mad squabbles in the blocking game. He is a key piece of the running game success that the 49ers have. Brandon Ayuk is worth number 1 wide receiver money to the wide receivers, even though he doesn't produce like the bona fide, no conversation to even be had level number 1 wide receivers throughout the league. So the 49ers, again, have painted themselves now into a tough corner as minicamp opens on Tuesday here. We got minicamp opening on Tuesday. Andrew Siciliano, who is, been covering the NFL for a very long time, points out that there are 9 teams that open mandatory minicamps on Tuesday this week. Tua's Dolphins, Ayuk's 49ers, CeeDee Lamb, and Micah Parsons' Cowboys. These are all guys who are holding out for contract extensions right now. So contract inflection point, it's looming. I mean, if the whole point of having Brock Purdy ready to go to win a Super Bowl this year was he's going to have an all hands on deck, everybody getting ready, ramp up off season, it'd be great to see this Ayuk deal done before mandatory minicamp opens. Probably not. We know that the 49ers do like to wait around. They waited around with Nick Bosa, and they will probably now wait around with Brandon Ayuk. They've waited around so long, they've made it harder on themselves. They really have. I can see the comment section. It's already popping, already flying. We will get to everything that you're chit-chatting about when we step into Club Plus on this Monday. Yes, we will do a Club Plus this Monday. But before we do that, we have a few other things to get into here. And the first thing I have to get into, it's a sad thing, and this might be the first you're hearing about it. Rest in peace to Hall of Famer Larry Allen. Larry Allen was only 52 years old. He was on vacation in Mexico with his family, and he didn't wake up. Went to bed, did not get out of bed. 52 years old. That's way too young to die. That's even too young to die for a big man with NFL miles on a big man's body. That's rough. That is rough. That's only 3 years older than me. Man. Allen was a second-round pick out of Sonoma State in 1994. He transferred to Sonoma State from Butte College, which is where Aaron Rodgers still claims to be from. First team All-Pro 7 times. All-decade team of the 2000s, one of the most dominant offensive linemen in NFL history, mostly played guard, but played tackle when asked to as well. He could do everything. He was one of the greatest combinations of speed, strength, and power the league has ever seen on the line of scrimmage. He has a highlight where he chases down a Saints linebacker on an interception. That is one of the more remarkable NFL highlights you will ever see a big man make. Larry Allen was all day and night long special. He basically spent his career in Dallas before wrapping up the final 2 years of his career with the 49ers. He's survived by his wife and 3 children. One of the all-timers. Rest in peace to Larry Allen. 52 years old. Man, that is way too young to go. Way too young to go. Couldn't help but notice, as I watched some Giants baseball over the weekend, that, they're not a bad baseball team. The Giants are not a bad baseball team. But when they step on the field with a real contender and one of the big boys, it ain't even close. Against major league rank and file, they can absolutely hold their own. We'll get into Blake Snell. I don't know. I don't even want to get into Blake Snell. Blake Snell, this contract it's a disaster written all over it. He has done nothing to help the Giants so far. He's only hurt the San Francisco Giants so far, and he's now hurt again and could be going back to the IL after pulling a groin after yet another kind of just outing. One of his better outings of the year, to be totally honest with you, against the Yankees. But the Yankees come in here and just show you what a real major league team looks like. And man, they played some big boy baseball. Looked like the Giants were going to get one of the 3 on Sunday, and then Juan Soto cranks one off at Duvall in the 9th. Yankees go on to win that game, rallying. So Giants got swept. They had themselves a nice little late night dinner with Broomhilda. 0-3 against the Yankees. They are 2-5 so far this season against the Phillies, and they are 1-5 against the Dodgers. Those are the 3 best teams in baseball right now. The Yankees, the Dodgers, and the Phillies. And combined, the Giants are 3-13 against those teams so far this season. They can't even pretend to be in a conversation with the real big boys, with real big boy mashers in their lineup. And does anyone else happen to notice that, the big boys, the real big boys, the big boys that, the Giants are oh so close to signing, but then don't make what is supposedly a big ballpark play small. That the 24 Willie Mays Plaza ain't too big to Aaron Judge. It's not too big to Shohei Ohtani. It's not too big to Kyle Schwarber. Not too big to Juan Soto. Aaron Judge, my God, he cranked one. Just cranked one. Nearly 3/4 of the way up deep into the left field bleachers. Oh, God, that guy's got power. He had a couple flip my wrist home runs out of here, and then he had one straight up Mama Chewbacca home run at that park. He is a special player. I can't even imagine how different the Giants lineup would look with, Schwarber at least, Ohtani, Judge at best. Bryce Harper, he didn't have problems hitting him out of that ballpark. Them big boys don't have a problem going yard in that yard. Aaron Judge now has 278 career home runs in just 896 games. The quickest ever to 300 was Sammy Sosa, who did it in 1,052 games. Aaron Judge is about to shatter that record. I mean, he might shatter that record before we get ourselves to frickin' Labor Day. He's been unbelievable. Aaron Judge just had himself a season last month. Bob Nightingale with those numbers, by the way, on Aaron Judge. Here's even more. In Aaron Judge's last 25 games, 15 home runs, 12 doubles, 20 walks. The only other Yankee with 15, 10, and 20 in any 25-game span is Aaron Judge in the month that he just had, and Babe Ruth back in 1921. Whenever you're a slugger in the same conversation with Babe Ruth, you're having yourself a pretty good tear. And as a matter of fact, Aaron Judge has now become baseball's only player ever to have 15 or more home runs, 12 or more doubles with 20 walks in any 25-game span of his career. Those are PlayStation numbers. That's PlayStation production. That's Xbox stuff. That's not real Major League Baseball. That's stuff of fantasy and video games and Pretendsville. Not for Aaron Judge. He just had himself a month. I'd say, thank God it's June. Maybe that'll calm him down. Nope, didn't. He homers twice on the final day of May, and on the first day of June, he takes the Giants yard as well. And that was the big boy donkey shot. I mean, boom. That thing was launched. But maybe the single biggest launching of the sports weekend happened on a WNBA basketball court. Did you see Caitlyn Clark get shoved? She gets body checked in a game that was billed as, big rivalry. This is like Bird and Magic. Well, not quite. But look, it's great for the league. It really is, like a real rivalry between individuals who were rivals in college and now are meeting as pros. This is what the NBA is missing. It really is. And the WNBA has that, and they would be negligent to not promote it as such. Caitlyn Clark, Angel Reese. It's great. It's great for the league. And the fact that Caitlyn Clark is getting shoved around and now that video is trending on Twitter. And I mean, we put up a short. I don't think I've ever had a short launch like this, like a straight up line in the first hour. That sucker got like 8,000 views. Like 1,000 views over the first hour of a YouTube short is a pretty good YouTube short. For launching. The Caitlyn Clark thing just took off. The frosty rookie greeting. People talking about it. Everyone having a hot opinion on it. It's great for the league. It's great for the WNBA. Drama and static make sports more interesting. Any league, any continent, anytime it happens. Drama and interest and anger are fuel for the fire of more coverage, which is what the WNBA has been asking for 20-something plus years. And now they are getting it. But there seems to be a misunderstanding, and it's coming from people who are familiar with the league, not unfamiliar with the league, about what's really going on here. The WNBA and many of the journalists who have covered this league, and many of the journalists who are covering this league are women who used to play in this league, have absolutely lost grip on what's really happening here. If you were a diehard WNBA fan, you were in no matter what, right? And there weren't many. Let's not stop pretending that was a large piece of the sports talk pie. It was never a big piece of the sports talk pie. We are now discussing it more than ever before. And we're not doing it because of Caitlyn Clark versus Angel Reese or Caitlyn Clark versus the Indiana, or no, she's on the Indiana Fever, Caitlyn Clark versus the New York Liberty or Cameron Brink and the LA Sparks or the Las Vegas Aces, who I think are the two-time defending champions of the league, whatever. It's not because of any matchup. It's because of Caitlyn Clark. And that's the only reason. And I heard Monica McNutt was she going on Stephen A. Smith this morning and say, look, Stephen A., you could have covered this league 3 years ago. And Stephen A. Smith was basically like, what? There was no reason to really cover this league other than being polite and friendly because there was no casual attention to even pretend was being captured. Now there is more casual attention actually happening to the WNBA than ever before. And it seems to have the WNBA a little caught off guard by, the echo chamber of criticism that comes with, hey, you know what? You got to protect Caitlyn Clark. And they do. If you're the Indiana, first of all, if you're the Indiana Fever right now, and I've not watched much of their games, but I'll tell you right now, they need a new head coach. Their coach sucks. Their coach sucks. She has no idea how to get Caitlyn Clark loose or get the ball or get her off-ball movement. No idea how to build an offense around one cat. And so bad coach. Number two, the Indiana Fever absolutely need the female equivalent of Charles Oakley, and they need her on that team. And the next time anybody breathes on Caitlyn Clark, that girl's job has got to be a flagrant 2, shut her down. What do you do for a league? I pick up flagrant 2s anytime somebody blinks funny at Caitlyn Clark. There should be a straight up goon on the Indiana Fever. Go get one. Just go get yourself a girl named Bertha who is not here to screw around. That's why, if you please, I am on my bended knee. Bertha, don't you come around here anymore. A little Grateful Dead for you in this morning. Go get a chick named Bertha, whose job it is to fuck up whoever touches Caitlyn Clark. Like off the top rope, nothing but elbows, knees, and knuckles. Like your job is to be suspended for 30 games to send a message to the league. This is what happens if you touch Caitlyn Clark. You need a goon. Who's your Tony Twist? Who's your Ty Domi? Who's your Charles Oakley? That's what the Fever need. This is going to sound harsh as hell, but there's the truth to it. And I am willing to engage anyone who wants to debate this with me, any established WNBA media member that this ever trickles to that it might offend. Come on the channel. We will have this debate. I would welcome it. This is going to sound gross, but I'm going to say it because it's the freaking truth. I want you to imagine 2 airplanes. 2 airplanes, no pilot, no crew. They're flown, they're robot airplanes. They're drones, okay? On one airplane is Caitlyn Clark. On the other airplane is not only the entire active rosters of the WNBA, it's everyone that has ever played in the WNBA ever. The history of the WNBA is in one plane. Caitlyn Clark is on the other. You can only land one. What would be the right plan for the WNBA to land? Now, from a humanitarian standpoint, you obviously would want to choose the many over the one. But from a business standpoint, that plane full of bitches is going down and Caitlyn Clark is going to go ahead and land just nice and smoothly. Caitlyn Clark is more important to the WNBA than every WNBA player combined, memory combined, franchise combined, story combined, championship ones combined. And I don't care if that is unfair. I don't care if that is foul. I don't care if you think I'm wrong, because I'm not. Because I'm going to tell you right now, there is nothing that has ever made me talk about this league before Caitlyn Clark. And I'm not here to talk really about anything else in the league other than Caitlyn Clark. That's it. She is the superstar. The rest are playing the guitar. This chick is Jimi Hendrix. So conduct business that way, which means who's the commissioner of the WNBA? There should be a memo going out this morning saying, if you ever touch Caitlyn Clark like that again, I am fucking coming for you and your family. Send. I mean, come on. I think the Indiana Fever in like 4 games have matched their all-time attendance. Like already. In just 4 games, they've had more people come to see them this year than in every other year combined, I think. Or maybe it's not that much, but it's close. The choice between Caitlyn Clark and the rest of you is no choice at all for the business or the future of the league. Wake up and smell the coffee, ladies. I mean, you're literally trying to hurt your meal ticket. Let me tell you what happens if Caitlyn Clark goes down with an ACL, a broken leg, or anything like that. You know what's happening? All those Indiana Fever games that are on national TV, all the exposure, they're going to yank that shit faster than anything you've ever seen off network television. With Caitlyn Clark, some people care. Without Caitlyn Clark, basically nobody but the WNBA nerds give a fuck. If you're offended by that, the truth doesn't care what offends you. It doesn't matter. Oh, man, don't let Monica McNutt hear that. Monica McNutt, Caitlyn Clark is more important than all the nuts and Monicas you can put together. Come on. What are we doing? You know, you want to live in some world where, well, the entire rookie class is getting a tough initiation into the league. Hey, you know what? I think it's great that these girls got squabbles and they're playing hard and, you know, sometimes are playing more physically than the dudes do. Not with Caitlyn Clark. She is one torn ACL away from your league going right back to the end of the line of attention. Let's be honest. Nate Jones, who is an important NBA voice on Twitter, a guy that I've been following for a long time. You know, he wrote that parity era has been great for the NBA so far. There's going to be a 6th different champion crowned in 6 straight seasons when the NBA Finals conclude this year. There is parity, and he says you're going to see even more unpredictability come to the league as the second apron officially kicks in, and he's right about that. The one missing thing, though, to really take the league over the edge in the NBA is that there are no more delivered rivals. Everyone became fascinated with Caitlyn Clark at Iowa and Angel Reese at LSU, and the two of them bumping heads gives you more to sell in the pros. NCAA stars now have name, image, and likeness, so you can stay in college. And what the NBA really needs to do right now is take that age limit to be drafted and crank that sucker up. Get yourselves rookies who have established brands coming out of college. Get established rivals to sell at the professional level. It's the biggest missing ingredient in the NBA right now. You know, go ahead and look at the top 20 projected players to go in the NBA draft this year. You're not familiar with many of them unless you're a big college basketball fan like I am. You're probably unfamiliar with most of the names. And then you add the European invasion, which isn't stopping anytime soon. There's less familiarity there. Damon Rangula, who's another great NBA follow on Twitter, says, you know, if I had more people off Twitter talk about and send clips of the Caitlyn Clark shove than any game ever before, and it directly ties to the college rivalry that built up to this moment. It's really interesting and something that the NBA has completely lost. I underestimated the power of college hoops. When you can deliver to the league a rookie superstar, it's really important, and it's really marketable. There are very few rookie superstars who land in the NBA anymore because they're not in college long enough to become superstars. So that's something that the NBA needs to consider, and the WNBA needs to consider keeping its cash cow out on that court no matter what. And if other girls have to suffer and die for Caitlyn Clark's preferential treatment, it's what the league needs to do. The league needs to protect Caitlyn Clark to grow the league the same way the NHL needed Wayne Gretzky in Los Angeles to promote that league. By the way, speaking of Wayne Gretzky, congratulations to the Edmonton Oilers. I'm officially on the Edmonton Oiler bandwagon. I am. I'm punctuated with a...
Oy, oy, oy!
Yeah, I'm on the Edmonton Oiler bandwagon for the Stanley Cup. Go Oilers. That crowd absolutely got me when I watched them close out the Dallas Stars last night. What a fun 5 final minutes. There's nothing like a team trying to hold on to a 1-goal lead at home, trying to get to the Stanley Cup. Got an extra skater on the ice, an empty net. Oh, it's good. Playoff drama is always great. Always great in hockey. So there you go. A solid Monday, June 3rd. I hope you enjoyed it all. If you're listening on the podcast, thank you so much for doing so. Think about considering liking, subscribing to the YouTube channel as well if you haven't already, because you get to stick around and watch things like Club Plus, which we're about to get into right now. But in the meantime, thank you so much for watching, for listening. And remember, sports don't build character, they reveal it. And like that, he's gone. Plug it in and turn it off and get all sexy. Ooh, yeah, here we go. By the way, have we had another birthday today? Isn't it Otis's birthday today? Happy birthday, Otis. That's our guy. Happy birthday, Otis. What do we got here? UC Steve wants to know, hey, Damon, I hope you're okay and not upset for Larry for leaving you for 95.70. Yeah, we didn't do a wake-up this morning because Larry was called in to do a fill-in thing. And look, I get it. It's okay. It's okay. Larry must have needed that $50. It's fine. It's fine. He will be back. He will be disciplined for his for his heresy. Gareth says, I hated Larry Allen as a Cowboy. Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what happens when someone's kicking your ass. You hate him. The Damon Brusano is bomb at Ike's. Thank you, Roberto. It certainly is. Very, very good. Very, very good sandwich, if you don't mind. What is this? JJ got paid. JJ, what happened? Good job, JJ, getting paid. Drew Down, what's up? What's going on, Drew? Good to have you in here as always. Drew Down says, look, man, Ayuk is not on that JJ level. Look, JJ's got a start to his career that puts him sort of on a level of his own. Brandon Ayuk, if you're team Ayuk right now, you're coming in at $30 million. $30 million or guaranteed dollars in that neighborhood is what you're looking for. Hugh Josky Bear, yeah, when it comes to strength, Larry Allen is folklore, basically. 700-pound bench press, he repped 225 43 times. That is insane. You're right. Allenitis was a real thing. You'd have defensive linemen saying, you know what? Coach, my neck and my back. I think I might need this weekend off. Layer 2 Chains says, finally, I made it into the live show again. Look, live on tape, as long as you're a part of that studio audience somehow. That's all I care about. But it's great to have you back. Thank you so much for tuning on in. Again, Otis, I believe it's Otis's birthday today. Happy birthday, Otis. Keith Overbaugh. Did Damon just call his toddlers screaming idiots? They are sometimes, absolutely. Look, you can't call my kids screaming idiots. I can. I can. And they're both brilliant, wonderful boys, but they get into their 4-year-old craziness, and it's a lot. Imagine me, but 4.5. And then imagine me again at 2.5. And imagine having to live 24 hours a day with those kids. It's a lot. They're a lot. They're wonderful. They are a lot. Christopher says, I lost my dad at 51. Far too young. Indeed, Christopher, that's far too young. And rest in peace to your father, man. Just way too young. Keith says, Brandon Ayuk is 26 to 27 million a year. Wouldn't go over that. Look, that might have gotten it done before this Justin Jefferson deal. I'm sorry. Does Brandon Ayuk's going to want number one wide receiver money is about to start at a $30 million conversation. Whether you produce like one, are used like one, are targeted like one, is irrelevant to the fact that he is the best wide receiver. And I think if you're Ayuk, you're holding out for 30. Absolutely you are. You're holding out for that now. Chudley, 716. It's like Blindside. You're almost a homeless teen if Sonoma State is your football credential. You are in relative obscurity, and you better be some sort of a physical specimen that everybody just goes, oh my God, about in order to even be noticed. And Larry Allen was that. True Blue Forever had a good weekend. He says, man, Snell's groin probably feels like my liver today. Well, look at it this way. Your liver has probably gotten to the 6th inning in a baseball game. Blake Snell's hasn't. Not yet anyways this year. It's been a disaster so far. Otis said, man, the Yankees made Oracle Park look small. Yeah. Yes, they did. Snell finally made it to the 5th inning by giving up only 1 hit before he left. Then he gets injured. That ending was brutal. And yeah, I know the 2 runs came in after he left, but he was responsible for those runs. Again, Blake Snell has yet to see the 6th inning, and he's making $30+ million. He was having his best outing in a Giants uniform, and now we're not going to see him, man. It ain't good. Aaron Ruth for Judge. Yeah, look, Arson Judge, Aaron Judge, Babe Judge, Aaron Ruth, whatever you want to say. He's a monster. Judge is probably the only player that could hit the Levi's glove at 501 feet. I mean, he's one of them. It's a very short list. Look, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Pete Alonso, one of those guys is available. The Giants should go about trying to add them. I mean, without a big stick in the middle of this lineup is not going to be able to produce with the big boys. It just isn't. Again, 3-13 against the alpha males so far this season. Robert Prado says, another 500 season for the Giants. Not surprised one bit. Look, they're middling. They're middling. They're not bad. They're not great. And like any major league team, you can come up and you can bite one of the big dogs on the hind leg every now and then, but consistently, the Giants are going to get mollywopped by the best of the best in this league. Kevin says, no wake up today. No, there was no wake up today. We'll be back at it on Wednesday. And by the way, on Wednesday, there won't be a Damon Bruce show because after a wake up, I have plans to make it on down to 49ers training camp. So we'll be filing some reports from down there and giving you a little training camp close up later this week. Then, of course, this week ends. This week is going to end on Friday with a very special Damon Bruce show that will be coming to you later in the afternoon as Damon Amendolara and I come to you from Line 51 over in Oakland as we begin the hashtag FJF reverse boycott celebration with the good folks over at Last Dive Bar. So hopefully you're planning on getting together with yours truly, many Plusers, many A's fans. We're doing something over in the East Bay from noon to 3 at Line 51. There's going to be a live show. There's going to be a live recorded show there for you as well that we're going to record, and it's going to be great. It's going to be a really good time. Come and get some beer and hang out. Smiley Dan knows what's up. He said, look, man, the WNBA drama has been so good this year. It helps when some of the players have had intimate relationships. That would be awesome in the NBA. Yeah, rivalry historically has always sold very, very well. And you want more of it for sure. And you don't get enough of it with everybody dipping out of, college as fast as they can to make it in the pros. Name, image, and likeness should be incentives to stick around in college, and the NBA needs to bump up its minimum age requirement to make sure that some superstars are actually allowed to flourish collegiately before they get to the league so you can turn around and sell something right away. Talking about the Caitlyn Clark incident, Michelle Haberman says, I fucking loved it. That could be a great salty matchup for years to come if the WNBA doesn't mishandle the moment. And yeah, the biggest way to mishandle the moment is let Caitlyn Clark get hurt. If she hurts herself by playing basketball, that's sports. That's basketball. If she hurts herself because you got girls who are body checking her, not going for a rebound, but body checking her on inbounds plays, that can't happen. That's a non-basketball play, for goodness sakes. Yeah, maybe Caitlyn Clark needs to be more like Dallas Clark. Yeah, she got to get in the weight room, man. Caitlyn Clark needs rounder shoulders. She needs bigger thighs, thicker calves. She's going to have to bulk up. Absolutely bulk it up. Because these girls are gunning for her. Again, the league needs to do something about it. Big Bertha. Yeah, Indiana Fever. Need a Bertha. Need a Spreewell. A Shewell. They need a Latrell Shewell to go out there and make sure that nobody... By the way, Caitlyn Clark's teammates, next time you see anyone that happen, every single one of you jump off the bench, beat the shit out of that girl who just messed with Caitlyn Clark, and then if the game has to be forfeited because you're all suspended because you all left the bench, that's cool too. That's cool too. I really mean it. If I were coaching the Indiana Fever right now, I'd just say the next woman who breathes funny on Caitlyn Clark loses her 2 front teeth. Just straight up, we are dogpiling this bitch and beating her bloody on the court. No one touches Caitlyn Clark. No one. That's how that's what needs to happen. Straight up, what has the WNBA had a straight up brawl? It would have one if I were coaching the Fever. The league spent 20 years doing nothing. Nothing in terms of attention, interest, nothing. The golden goose has arrived and you're trying to break her eggs? What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Oh, come on in. Jillian, you want to say? Jillian is about to take off. I think she's about to go get adjusted or chiropractic or something. What are you going to go? Your back cracked?
Something like that.
Something like that? Say hello.
Hi. It's really dark. I guess that's
we're in the Club Plus.
Oh, right.
You want to get down? You want to make out in the club? Yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Plusers?
How are you? I know you didn't come in here with much. You weren't thinking you were going to be on the air, but do you have anything to say to the good people out there? Do you have anything to say about Caitlyn Clark and the way she's being handled in the WNBA?
Yeah, it's fucking bullshit.
If you had one plane with Caitlyn Clark on it, and the other plane had the entire WNBA on it, and only
I don't like where this is going.
And only one can land safely. What do you think is more important for the league?
We're not gonna play those games. But I will say that her teammates should back her up on the court and take care of that shit. That's all I gotta say.
There you go.
I would.
Former rugby player. Don't mess around with Jillian. She will fucking be on you like a spider monkey.
Thinking more like a rhino, but sure.
A rhino? No, you don't know. You're not a rhino to me, honey. Unless you're one of them like sexy rhinos in stretch pants. Yeah, that's not the noise a rhino makes. Go get your back cracked. Have fun. Damon just invented clothesline Hilda. We do need clothesline Hilda, broom Hilda, something. I mean, seriously. Someone saying, what, no, she isn't? Nick Nice 21 saying Caitlyn Clark isn't more important to the WNBA than the entirety of the WNBA. Where have you been for the last 25 years? Where are you right now? Yes, she is. The rest of the WNBA doesn't want to hear it. They should be insulted by it. I get it. You're all jealous of what Caitlyn Clark has. And what Caitlyn Clark has is the basketball world's attention in the palm of her hand. Nobody else, not a single other female basketball player in the history of female basketball has ever done what Caitlyn Clark is doing to sell tickets and move product. She is the most important women's basketball player of all time right now. It's already an the conversation's already over. It's done. We need no more evidence. If I've offended you, it doesn't matter. The truth does not care who it offends. Teammates are weak as hell for backing them up. I would agree with that, Drew. Where are all these other women reporting for duty? Where are they? Hendricks was the best, not the most popular. Chudley, 716. Well, look, Caitlyn Clark might not be the best right now, but it doesn't even matter. We don't have to differentiate who's the best out here. Whoever the best is in the WNBA, no one even fucking knows or cares. Caitlyn Clark having a shitty game is more important than Sabrina Ayahuasca having a 50-point game. I don't think her last name is Ayahuasca, but I don't even know what it is. She just played Steph Curry in a 3-point contest, right? So Oniescu, Iona College. What is her last name? It doesn't matter. She ain't Caitlyn Clark. Alberto Soto says, look, man, these jealous women are just mad that a white and straight woman is doing that. I honestly, I'm not picking up on this racial angle that people are trying to sell at all. And look, the racial angle brings a lot of people in to the tent to scream about it. But I don't think this is about anything other than pure jealousy of the prom queen. That's what this is. This isn't about white. This isn't about straight. This isn't about conservative from Iowa. If that's what she is, this isn't about anything other than you have a level of attention that I wish I had. That's what it really looks like to me. I'm not here for any of the, well, Caitlyn Clark wouldn't be treated like this if she were a black lesbian. To me, that's got nothing to do with it. It's got nothing to do with it. If a black lesbian had gone on and been the all-time leading scorer in the history of college basketball, men or women, I think she would be getting this attention too. There's, to me, I don't know. I don't think race has much to do with it. I know for some people it has a lot to do with it, but those are the people who want to sell it as that. Oh, we got an actual MVP or an actual card-carrying Edmonton Oiler fan in here. E. Scott Burns. Oilers have been my team since '78. Oakland Seals, then California Golden Seals left for Cleveland. Go Oil. Go Oilers. And Connor McDavid, right? KB Toy Store says, "Stop eating the snow, Damon." What? Why don't any cocaine on my face? What are you talking about? It's been a cocaine-free Monday here in the household. What else? 28 million hard cap, Damon, for Ayuk. Well, you got to make some choices. Got to make choices. Trim, cut, work around the margins elsewhere to get that man what he needs. Look, Jefferson has crazy historic production. That's why he gets the crazy historic dollars. But they are absolutely going to need to pay him like a number one wide receiver because he is their number one wide receiver. And the price tag on number one wide receivers is officially $30 million. It is now. Gareth Yap says DA and DB show. Yeah, alphabetically, that's the way it's got to be. In a battle of Damons, you got to go alphabetically. So Amendola officially gets ahead of Bruce. I can't wait for Damon to come out here. We're going to have a really, really good time. SF Indigo, formerly known as Baron Red, says, going to be at line 51 on Friday. Who else going to be there? Come on out. Come on out. I see the A's still in Sacramento 10 years from now. So do I, UC Steve. They're either going to stay up in Sacramento or come skulking back to Oakland somehow, some way. I really believe that. I do not believe that they are going to Vegas until they are literally building in Vegas. I won't believe it. Behind every great man's a great woman. Look, I'm no great man, but Indiana, yeah. Jillian, that is a great woman. That is an unbelievable woman right there. Sky rockets in flight. I mean, look, if we want to get it in, we need to get it in the afternoon because these kids, oh my God. Nothing takes the sex you used to have and sort of flips it over to the sex you're not having, quite like a 4.5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old. I'm just going to tell you that right now. No regrets. Love the boys. But we're exhausted every night. Exhausted. We'll both look at each other and be like, are you in the mood? No, I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood again. I'm not in the mood again. Oh, my God. Good hip check on Clark. Can raise a player's social profile level, good or bad. No such thing as bad press. Captain Evil Ammo. You're right. You're right. But no. No. We can't sacrifice anyone's fame for Caitlyn Clark's safety. Too impressive. We got a direct quote here. Protect your peeps from Jillian. And it's Jillian with a G, not Jillian with a J, but that's okay. Pabs79 Pez. It's Jillian with a G. Look at Damon go. Yeah, you can tell. You can, yeah, dude, that's my gal right there. That is my gal. And this is my man right here, Rob C-Note. 100 bones for the sexy rhino. That might be Jillian's new nickname on the show, the sexy rhino. She will actually love that. She won't be offended at all. Wow. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Otis. And that's what I'm talking about, Rob C-Note. I'll tell you, I can take that C-Note to the spearmint rhino. That's what I think. You know it. Thank you so much, Rob C. Yeah, dude, I'm going Sabrina Iona College from now on. Not, what is it? Michelle's helping me here. Habes says it's Ionescu. Sabrina Ionescu. That's great. Do you see the one? There's an ad for some like car or something. It's like a participating car of the WNBA. And it's got 3 WNBA players walking down the street. And like the salesman comes out and calls them all by their first name. Let me tell you, he wouldn't recognize any of them without the fucking script. Unless he had the script in the hand saying, this is Sabrina and the other 2 chicks who are in the commercial too, don't even know who they are. We're pretending to know the rest of these girls. It's Caitlyn Clark and then everybody else 5 miles behind her in terms of importance. Fair, not fair, good, not cool. It doesn't matter. It's the truth. Albert Soto says, but if she were black, no other player in the league would be treating her the same. Like you said, the truth doesn't care about your feelings. Dude, I just saw Angel Reese catch a fucking clothesline. Angel Reese, not white. Again, Angel Reese got frickin' Wahoo McDaniel'd right on a basketball court. No one brought up race then. I don't think this is about race. I don't. I think it's about popularity and jealousy. And everyone wants to be the person who says, yeah, I haze the rook. And you're supposed to haze the rook. The rookie's not supposed to have a warm welcome. I got no problems with actual hard basketball and double teams and defense and half-court traps and all the tricks in the books being thrown at Caitlyn Clark. I have a problem with she's not even aware that there's a player behind her and she's getting hip checked as she's getting an inbounds pass. You catch an elbow on a rebound, that's sports. I'm not here to sell the I'm not here to sell. I'm not here to sell any element of race having anything to do with this. I really don't think it has anything to do with it. Otis says, Damon, thank you very much for that birthday wish. It's much appreciated. Well, Otis, you are much appreciated. You are absolutely much appreciated, man. I thank you so much for all that you've done to help be a part of this awesome community that we've officially built here. We, this week, and I'm not saying I'm saying we because it is a we situation, we are going over 5 million views this week on the channel. That's a good start for me, man. I'm excited about it. I'm excited to be here. It's awesome to have all of you here. And I hope you plan on coming on back on Tuesday and every other day after that. Again, on Wednesday, the show will be coming later than you expect because I'm going to be going down to 49er training camp. And then on Friday, the show is going to be coming to you after noon, from noon to 3 over at Line 51. And hopefully you can play a little hooky and come on out and join the reverse boycott as well. In the meantime, you good folks, remember, go get your sandwiches at Ike's. Go get your drinks at the Dubliner West Portal. And wherever you go, it's cool with me, but you just can't stay here.